Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek Ramaswamy inviting a protester to come inside and speak. That gets 1.6 million views in 8 hours, which is fantastically great in terms of, as youth might say, going viral. And I also would argue the best way to change minds and hearts is conversation, which is why I always am critical of the United Auto Workers censoring all of their live streams. Best way, and most of their videos on the YouTube. If you want to win hearts and minds, have a go back and forth discussion. It can be a little energy intense. It can take some time, but that might be a way to win more people over. That's why I never censor my comments. They're always open. With the only ironic time when they were censored is when YouTube, I made a video talking about YouTube censorship. That video in and of itself, YouTube overrode my decision and they actually shut down comments completely. The other 2 times was talking about Bud Light shutting down comments on Twitter, and another video lambasting Bud Light as well. Fascinatingly enough. Now, when it comes to the specific tweet, this comes from Mr. Colin Rugg on the Twitter, or the X. Interesting note. Let me know in the comments, in your social media sphere, do you ever, when talking to friends and family, do you call it Twitter still, or do you call it X? I can't help but think we all just kind of still call it Twitter, even though I know that probably makes Elon die a little bit inside. But at the end of the day, marketing is it's a very interesting thing, and people are kind of set in their ways when it comes to the identity and the knowing of Twitter. But nevertheless, this comes from Colin Rugg, and he says before the video, quote, Vivek Ramaswamy invites a protester who kept shouting outside of his event inside. After confronting him, the student kept making excuses for why he couldn't come in. My stuff is out there, it's raining, I actually told I couldn't bring signs. All bark and no bite. Brilliant move by hashtag Vivek Ramaswamy. And as of reporting, it's actually up to 4.5 million views. So without too much further ado, and I do appreciate all the comments and the feedbacks and the suggestions. I'm trying to find a software that does good picture-in-picture production so that we can actually show these clips, ideally, somewhere over there, and that would give you more visual representation, make the show a little more entertaining. I tried XSplit last week, and I don't know if I just need more drivers for the camera, because the camera's a little bit newer, but it would only do one or the other. And it would only show the screen, or the computer screen. It wouldn't actually show the camera. And sure, I know most people in the comments might say, well, that's infinitely better than looking at you. But nevertheless, my goal is to try to have at least both things on the screen at once. So if you have suggestions, I greatly appreciate the feedback. So without further ado, I shall play this little video here.
Why don't I let the gentleman outside in? He seems like he really wants to. Come on in. Let me go. I'll go get him. Yeah, I'll get him. Thank you. Thank you. Hi there. What's your name?
Gabe.
Yeah, get the door. Yeah, get the door. I didn't mean to. What's your name? No, I was just gonna invite you in. I didn't expect them to come. What's your name?
My name is Gabe.
And are you a student here?
I am. We actually spoke.
We did?
Yeah, I answered the gun question before.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to come in and join us? Because I noticed you've been very vocal for this. Want to come in? You're welcome. You don't have to. You don't.
All my stuff is out here, and it's about to rain.
Yeah, bring it on in. You don't have to be. I just wanted you to know that you don't have to be outside. You're allowed in.
Okay. I was actually told that I couldn't bring signs in before.
Well, you know what? I'll have something to do with that. So you can bring in signs if you want, but who needs the signs when you have your own voice? Come on in and we'll even give you a chance to ask a question just like everybody else. Does that work for you? Because we've been hearing you from outside, but we might as well.
I'm glad.
I thought if we're going to hear you from outside, we might as well hear you inside. So come on in, man.
Speaking a little bit quieter.
Come on, we'll give you a hand. I'll give you a hand.
Thank you. I really
Thank you.
appreciate that. Oh, actually, the strap is caught.
There you go.
Okay.
Got 'em. Is that your water?
Good.
Yeah, this is all mine.
Here, I'm used to
Yeah,
carrying
come on in.
equipment. Come on.
We'll carry your water for you.
Oh, thank
Come
you.
on in.
Unintended.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
Hi, Mike.
Come on in. Join us. What year are you?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore?
Yes.
Okay, good. We don't. I've been outside of rooms I've tried to get into before. That's been frustrating.
Yeah.
So we.
Fascinating. So it's also one of the fascinating things where you would never see another politician do this in terms of. I have yet to see someone, even a political figure, someone like a Ben Shapiro, you see them doing that a lot, but usually on the opposite of the political aisle, you don't see that. Quite the antithesis, you see the opposite, you see them violently protesting, something as simple as Ben Shapiro visiting a college campus to give a speech. And again, I always think the open conversation of ideas, that's how you win hearts and minds. That's when you can really change people's minds. You get to learn their perspective. Man, at the end of the day, I think that's what's best for our country. I mean, every American used to believe that I might not agree with what you're saying, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it. It is quite concerning that most Americans no longer believe in that and are embracing disgusting, draconian, morally vacuous things such as censorship. Now, in terms of the comments and the feedbacks, you even have someone like Elon Musk chiming in. Elon responded saying, "Good move," quote unquote, and he got 7,795 likes out of about 250,000 views. You also have Colin Rugg responding to it. We have a GIF of two dogs barking, and there's a little fence and barrier between them. And as soon as someone removes the fence, the dogs kind of stop yelling at each other and kind of just chill. And that got 5,000 likes. Let's look at the other top comments. You have somebody named Paul Hookham saying, quote, "Love him or hate him, Vivek is amazing at disarming his dissenters in a way I'm not sure we've seen," unquote. Person got 4,482 likes. Quite popular tweet. Someone named Western Lensman said, quote, "It's all fun and games until someone calls your bluff," unquote. And they do include a emoji of a clown face and a laughy face. Now this person gets 1,763 likes. Now, interestingly enough, you do have some pejorative or kind of going against the grain responses as well. Someone by the name of the LFB said, quote, "This is as fake as his claim that a protester rammed into his car. It's as fake as his campaign," unquote. He got 55 likes. And someone responded saying, I'm leaning into this with you," getting 18 likes. Although I'm not seeing them present any evidence in the Twitter chain. Interesting. You have someone by the name of Deborah Palmer saying, quote, "I'm impressed. I've never seen any candidate do this. He's smart, kindness instead of arguments. I was impressed with the last presidential debate. Also, kudos." And she did include a thumbs up emoji, a fire emoji, an American flag emoji, and a heart on fire emoji. Which, interestingly enough, depending on how you interpret it, it might be a bad thing, but apparently this is a good thing, like very loving. Perhaps sometimes emojis elude me. I can't but wonder what on earth they're teaching in public schools these days. How far society has fallen if you actually have to have a class talking about emojis, which another topic for another time perhaps. Now she did get 61 likes for that tweet response. Other top responses, you have somebody named Penny Lane, who, I don't want to say F for marketing, but her profile picture is not of the Beatles, so a little disappointing there. Fun little band or musician pun if you are a fan of the Beatles. Now she says, quote, "Got to give Vivek credit, very impressive way to handle opposition," unquote. She got 271 likes. Let's see here. A lot of people saying it was brilliant, great way to disarm your opponents, great way to change minds. Somebody named of Glenda, and she says, quote, "Vivek, by all accounts, seems to be a pretty stand-up guy," unquote. She got 273 likes. A lot of advertisements popping up annoyingly. Someone by the name of Dom Lucier, breaker of narratives, said, quote, "Class act move, I can't even lie," unquote. He got 423 likes. It's quite the achievement. Not to brag, but I did get 3 likes on my tweet last week. At NICTOPPING. Mr. Misha Featon says, quote, This was a masterclass on how to win friends and influence people. Good job by Vivek," unquote, getting 491 likes. Let's see here. So it looks like the only pejorative, let's see here. Yeah, the only negative responses I see are some people with a theory that it was set up. But again, I don't see any immediate supporting evidence. I'd have to do some extra research. They didn't actually include any evidence in the response, which, again, would have been a more prudent decision if you actually want to change people's minds. So overall, I'd say, and I'm scrolling, yeah, I'd say about 95% positive. Yeah, I'd say about 95% positive responses from this tweet. And then, interestingly enough, I can't imagine how most people have handled that situation. Do you think that's a prudent decision? And interestingly enough, do you think it'd be a good idea to actually bring those people on stage? I know some people do that, like Ben Shapiro. Like, they're not politicians, they're political commentators. But do you think politicians should use that technique to allow them the opportunity to speak and actually address their concerns, and perhaps not just change their mind, but change their followers' minds? That might be an interesting political strategy, political move on the chessboard, so to say. And it's something we didn't really see this, wind back the clock a couple of decades when individuals didn't have these types of platforms and social media influences. Where, I mean, back in the day, the only real interaction you'd see with politicians and regular people would be when they're flipping pancakes or something, trying to do a fundraiser, or when you have those cliches, boring as hell, TV opportunities where they have someone with a pre-screened question. They go, "Mr. President, how would you fix A, Y, Z?" And it's just they knew the question was coming, so it's kind of boring. It's kind of easy to vet those out. It's not really changing someone's mind who's on the opposition. Really, at most, you're changing someone's mind just in the middle, I would say. So, do you think this would be, in terms of the evolution, or some would say the de-evolution, or the downfall? It's interesting. I would say it's a change in politics. Do you think that might be a new interesting trend? And do you think it'd be an effective way to perhaps win the hearts and minds of more prospective voters during this upcoming election? As we see, fascinating thing in politics is there are many variables and there are very many a lot of political tools you can use in your arsenal. And technology certainly is one of them, as these instances show. Do you think this technique will be a fruitful one, and will more politicians and prospective politicians copy it? Be fascinated to hear and see what you have to say. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. I know we're ambitious, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of October, so if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, the comments are greatly appreciated, even if it's a critique. I appreciate that, because that's how I want to make the show better and better together. Also, a like click does help the channel out as well, and apparently with the YouTube algorithm, perhaps that'll help the videos get shared more and more. But also, equally as important, don't forget to please take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.